Welcome to the Monster Castle radio show. For the extreme paranormal listener. And here is your host, the Wolfman, Mike.
Yeah. This is where the real freaks hang out, alright? Yeah! Let's hear some rock and roll, baby, yeah!
Here we are on Monster Castle Paranormal. All right. Is anybody with me?
I am.
There's Darren.
Yeah, I'm here too.
There's Marcus.
And Jeff is here.
And we have Jeff. All right. My whole panel's here. All right. Everybody knows everybody. I should probably introduce you guys again. That's Darren from he's from Mars, and Marcus he's like I think he's from sub-Earth or somewhere inside the Hollow Earth, and Jeff, he's a mad scientist, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to point fingers because I'm a little bit of a terrible mad scientist. I like experimenting with dead things as well. So we're all on the Monster Castle. We do things weird here. Sometimes we like to talk about witches. So tonight we're going to talk about witches because we were trying to figure out and get to the bottom of how can you tell if somebody is a real witch?
Like an evil witch? Or just a witch?
The cackling kind that flies into trees with their broomstick,
What about the regular witches?
Well,
like Heather.
Oh, don't say that name. You'll be cursed. The last time I said that name, I actually had a toothache for a week.
Uh-oh.
I'm not even kidding. No, I guess the old way to... What is it? You're supposed to float them, and then if they float, that's a real witch. So you kill her and burn her on the stake. And if they sink and drown, that's not a real witch.
But she's dead anyway.
Yeah.
Wasn't that from Monty Python?
Yes. Okay, but no, we're going to go over some of the... I think Marcus has a book with actual... statistics of the way what they used to actually do to these people.
Ooh.
And I think a lot of it was just these little girls that were making up stories and watching people get punished and then going snickering and haha, I lied. The guy's already dead though, or the person's already dead.
Okay. I was up in Massachusetts for training, and we went to Salem one day to visit, and I went to the Witch Museum. And so they went through the whole history of the Salem witch trials and all that. And I did buy the little booklet that went through the whole story. And it was pretty interesting because, they weren't necessarily bad people. They were just like eccentric. And so all these teenage girls, they kind of, ganged up on them, and they used the court system of the day to basically go after a lot of these.
Oh, did I lose you?
Hanged or.
Did I lose you?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were gone for just 1 second.
Anyway, so yeah, they I think they hanged about 20 people.
They didn't burn them?
No, that was in Europe. They burned.
Was that before?
Yeah, tens of thousands of people. They burned.
Tens of thousands?
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but a lot of people got burned in Europe.
Wow.
All women?
No, probably not. I haven't gone back and researched that part of it, but
Actually,
yeah,
I know for sure that it was men as well.
Yeah,
Men could be accused of witchcraft just as much as women.
But the Salem witch trials are all women?
no, there was a few men. I think there were. I don't know the exact number, maybe 14 or 15 women.
Well, it wasn't
Wow.
even just witch. They accused the men of heresy, right?
It was, I don't know, heresy. I don't know the exact difference, but it was all basically going against the religious views of the day.
What years were those?
This was 1692, the Salem.
Oh, man.
And
And how long did it go on for? The Salem witch trials.
went on for about a year, and then they finally stopped it. They had to have like the governor come in and shut it down.
Well, you people are definitely floating. So why are you burning these people? Because they're floating. They're obviously not. Wait a minute. They're supposed to sink. Yes. Burn them. It's okay. They're floating. Burn them. Burn them.
And it was all based on this thing called spectral evidence. And these teenage girls, they would even go into fits while they were in court, saying that they were being, manipulated and possessed by these women.
Have you seen the movie The Witch?
No.
Oh, it's so good. You guys have to see that.
We got some major echo going on. It's really cool, man. Far out. Okay. Jeff, do you know anything about witches?
Well, last week I was actually in Boston. And so we got to kind of walk through the Boston, Salem witch museum they have. So it's pretty cool.
How big are the
At one
museums?
point, it wasn't like huge. I mean, it's a couple rooms, about it. Looks kind of cool on the outside, and old architecture, and
Do they have just a whole bunch of stuff written about who died and how they died and stuff? Are there pictures?
yeah, there's pictures, and it's kind of a tourist trap, but
Sounds kind
it
of
looks
cool.
cool, and it's got the stained glass windows, and on the inside, and yeah, that's why I wasn't here last week. It was in Boston.
And there's one
Drinking
in
beer.
there's one in Salem, Massachusetts too, and one in Boston.
Well, I know that they have the old the area. I know they have that like fenced off, but I didn't get a chance to go there and see it beyond.
I have a question for you guys. Who's your favorite movie witch?
I think Blair Witch.
That movie was the scariest. That was the scariest movie ever.
It was so good. So good.
I watched it in the dark living room, and I had to pause it a couple times. That movie was scary.
I had to
Yeah,
play
it
my
was-
drums afterwards because drums drive away evil spirits. When you're drumming, it actually, that's why tribal people used to play the drums, because they believed that it would drive away the evil spirits. So when I'm scared like that after something, I would go play my drums to drive away the
Really?
evil spirits. Yeah. And what's
Probably just
what's
doesn't
weird?
make you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. What's weird about that is that like sound laws in the city and that like your neighbors can call the cops on you, and the cops will show up and say you gotta stop doing that, right? You gotta stop drumming. And I actually think that could be a conspiracy right there, so that people cannot drive away the evil spirits. Because it's
Could
natural.
Be, it could be Aunt Mildred upstairs though that wants to sleep too. Drums can be pretty loud.
Yeah, but it drives away the evil spirits, and that's what people do, man. That's what tribes do. They would just boom, 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 boom on the drums all day to keep the evil spirits away. So now you can't do that. Cops will come and say, shut up.
Huh. Never thought about that before. I have thought about the rain dance. Don't they use the drums for the rain dance?
Yeah, of course. Yes, they do. Well, you
Those
can
things
do...
work.
I've done the rain dance with some native workers on my tobacco farm, and it works. It
I've heard
rains.
it works.
It really does work. There's no doubt in my mind it works.
Have you done a sweat lodge?
No. I've never tried that.
I haven't either. How about you, Jeff? Marcus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You have to
drank
know
a beer
somebody.
and sat in the sauna one time
Well, that's the same
Passed
thing.
and passed out. Yeah,
I think I've done that before too.
I couldn't help it. Yeah, the heat.
I guess those sweat lodges are excruciating. If you can survive them.
Okay,
I
I
have
wrote
a friend.
I wrote a poem about witches. From the burning churches of the Queen to the burning crosses of the witches, we have never seen all of the wrath that hath come before, but she's opening up the door. Be cool, but don't be seen, 'cause you're my friend and you're my queen. I don't know what that means, but I just wrote that down. I don't know what that means. Could be a song.
Sounds like lyrics, yeah.
So mote it be.
So mote it be. The burning witches, yes. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead.
The book I was referring to is called A Guide to the Salem Witchcraft Hysteria of 1692. It's by David C. Brown. And it's only about 130 pages. So it's easy.
Does it tell you anything on how can you tell or check if a person is a witch in there? What was some of the tests, the actual tests, besides the Monty Python tests?
Well, that's the whole thing. I was saying was there's really no such thing as witches. I mean, all these people, none of them really claimed to be witches, but they were accused of being witches just because they were eccentric. They were either old, or if you look at that thing I sent you about the 17 characteristics, 17 signs that you qualify as a witch in 1692.
Can you post that on 47 Talk?
Yeah, I'll post it right now.
Right on. So if I know that Caveman's listening, he always listens to us. We might have one listener. That's
Yay, Caveman.
I'm gonna give a special bonk for him for the witches. There we go. But yeah, because if someone really is a witch, they should really. Maybe we should have to bonk them. I don't know. I'm
Okay,
not
there
sure.
it is.
There is good witches.
Well, there's a whole
Well,
bunch
didn't-
of people that are good witches.
Yeah. Well, didn't the white magic start out first, and then bad stuff started to happen, and they started to say it was the witches because they saw that the white magic actually worked, and then they kind of just transformed it into something negative.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of that?
It's it's like originally I think they were just pagans, back in the Roman days, and so
Right.
they just didn't fit in with the Roman Catholic worldview.
Yeah.
And as time went on, I think they were just pagans, and they liked nature.
Like Celtic people, probably, right? Just worship nature, and
Yeah, I used to participate in pagan Wiccan rituals. It's all nature. It's all, everybody has a good time, and there's no judgments, And we did all this stuff outdoors. It was never usually inside. We take over like a park or like a natural state park, and we'd have so many people there. I think some people got a little afraid of it.
but you guys didn't like eat children or anything, did you?
Only on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
After 5.
Only at dusk,
Yeah.
in the mid, early, late summer, evening, morning, afternoon.
We would, do like the maple and celebrate, and just stuff that was kind of similar to the, to the Catholicism of today.
Would you call your group, when you got together, would you say fellow pagans? I mean, did you call yourself pagans?
It was like priests and priestesses, and there really wasn't.
The light of the
We had like a head priestess, but she didn't. She wasn't, on a power trip of any sort.
She wasn't like a head nurse, was she?
She just she just coordinated, events and stuff like that, and she knew, a lot of the, rituals and how to do them, and the history behind them. And, it's fun, At
I
least,
actually would like to
a lot of
see
it
that.
makes more sense than some of the other things I've heard. So.
Well, that sounds cool.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I used to live in North Carolina over there, and there's woods everywhere, so it's a great place. The little, I don't think the locals like it so much. Too many churches over there.
And they can't really burn them all at once, so there's too many of them now, right?
Yeah, they're more tolerant of
Fire.
that kind of stuff than they are of people and their sexual orientation.
Wow.
I'm serious. Yeah, it's harder to be, it's harder to be open about, homosexuals, talk about pagan beliefs.
It's easier to be gay than be a witch. I mean, it's easier to be a witch
yeah.
than be
No, it's
gay.
easier to be a pagan than to be gay.
Wow.
Yep. Now, if you're a gay pagan, which I knew a few of those.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I bet there are. Is it no one else? The churches are so
No,
negative.
they don't accept. Right. No, just down the street, we've got a church that they accept everybody. I'm
Probably
not sure.
Unitarian.
Yeah.
Unitarian.
They just said, yeah.
Unitarian churches
Everybody.
are cool.
Actually, I find that the United Church will accept anyone too, no matter your beliefs. They'll let you in and give you, they'll let you have communion with them and everything, no matter what.
Right.
They're pretty open.
Which church?
The United Church.
United Methodist?
In Canada here, they just call it United. I'm not sure if it's Methodist.
That sounds like Unitarian. I think that's the same thing.
Yeah. Maybe the same thing.
That's the best church.
I think so. They just let anyone in there. Doesn't matter what you think. Just come on in
Yeah.
and accept everyone. You know what? They're really generous people, too. They'll give you the shirt off their back.
Yeah. I grew up Catholic, and you can be gay and be Catholic. You just can't practice. Which is
Yeah.
just kind of ridiculous.
Caveman is sending us videos on the 47 podcast.
I told you he's listening. Okay. I'm gonna put a song on. I'm gonna put a song on right now. It's called Hallows Eve, in fitting for this occasion. And we'll be back in a sec, everybody. We're gonna have a short break, and if this song will work. It doesn't seem to be working. Okay. It's no okay. Maybe I won't put a song on. Okay, here it comes. Right on. Rock and roll. Yeah. Come on. Play. Oh, it's not playing. My God. Sometimes live really sucks, man. I can't get the song to play. Push the button. Push the button. No, it's not working.
Anyway, while you do that, I just want to add one more thing about the word pagan. I saw a while back that the original Latin translation for pagan is farmer. In other words, it was just rural people that didn't live in the cities. Basically, that was where the name originated from.
That makes sense because all the white magic was used by the farmers to get rain on their crops and avoid disease and keep everything healthy and have
Yeah.
good crops.
When they formed the Roman Catholic Church, it spread from cities outward, because they had to basically draw in all these different sects and tribes that were out in the country, and they had been practicing all sorts of polytheistic beliefs and rituals. So they were the last ones to be real
Converted. Forcefully converted.
forcefully converted.
Yes. Yes. Forcefully baptized like a bunch of aliens.
I grew up with the TV show Bewitched, and so my perception of witches were always like I want to marry one kind of thing, like Elizabeth Montgomery.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so I remember my grandparents telling me, the witches are bad. And I'm like, why? They're nice. What's wrong with them?
What? Remember, Art was always trying to get a real witch on his show. He never
Okay.
could find one.
I got the song going. I got it, guys. Okay, we're gonna take a short break here.
All right.
Yeah, all right. You dig it, all right. You dig it. Do you dig it? Man, that was good. That's a song I wrote a long time ago called Hallows Eve. And it's pretty, it pretty much, it's all about, witches, goblins, skeletons. But, I'm not sure if my panel's with me now.
I'm here.
Okay.
Skeletons scare me.
I'm here too.
Jeff's here. I've got a skeleton here in the corner of the room.
I got a few in my closet.
Is it real or a fake one?
Oh, it's one for use for like medical school.
Oh,
Is
wow.
it real?
It's a real prop, I guess. I mean,
Do you ever see shadow people around that thing?
I don't, because it's not. I think it's plastic.
It's hard to get a hold of a real skeleton.
It is. I used to have, when I took anatomy class, we had real human bones. And I went to a really old, not really old, but a school back in the 50s. Started back in the 50s. And I used to work in the biology lab. Well, in the back room, they kept all these specimens. Oh, that was just the coolest thing. I would sit back for like hours and look at this stuff. And they had animals, and they even had a fetus back there. It was really weird.
Okay,
Yeah,
I want Caveman to phone in. If you're listening, we want the Caveman to phone in. Please, phone in. We need his thoughts on the bone thing. I think he probably has stuff to say about like bones and what you can.
Yeah. I've got my skeleton wearing a white coat, so we're in the corner in a white coat.
I found a human arm bone once.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was down at the river, and it was super old. It was all petrified, like super, super old. And I thought it looked like a human bone. And later, doctor guy said he thought it was an arm bone, but brought it down to the police station. It's like, look, I found this bone down here, and they're like, that thing's so old. They just told me to go home. Don't even worry about it, because it was like rock by that time. It was just so old. It wasn't like a new bone.
Oh, they don't care.
Wow.
That's too much paperwork.
They don't want to deal with it.
No, too much paperwork. Yeah.
I thought maybe there was a body down there. I was just like, what the heck, you know? And at first, I didn't know for sure if it was a human bone or not, because it could have just been a dog's bone or something.
Well, how do the cops tell if it's old? Do they chew on it?
It's just, it was like a rock by that time. It was like petrified. I don't know. It was just really old. You could just tell. Well, at least that's what the police told me. Maybe it was brand new and they were just telling me that so I'd go away, so they didn't have to deal with it. Who knows?
Well, I think that they work really good, like a femur bone for, like, if there's somebody that's pissing you off, you can smack them with it and bonk them. You know?
I couldn't break this bone. It was so old. I couldn't crack it or bend. It was, there's no flex to it. It was just like a hard, rock.
Did you hear
almost.
that about the bones that they found of that boy that was abducted 27 years ago?
Now,
They just found him.
did the guy say where the bones were?
He was abducted out of Minnesota back in like '89,
Right.
and then they
And-
found him.
How'd they find
Where
him?
did they find him? Let's see.
Yeah, I heard something about that tonight.
Yeah, they
Didn't he
just found
confess
him.
or something, or say where the body? Because the guy that they think did it's in jail already.
Right.
Did he confess and tell them where it was at, or? Yeah, it's a horrible story. It's like there's 3 boys and they were going home, and a guy with a gun and a mask got out of a van and he told 2 of them to run off into the woods, and then he abducted the other one and killed him. It's a really sad story.
That
I think they found him.
it sounds to me like that person really deserves a good bonking, like with a femur bone right in the head.
Nice. I think the double or triple bonk.
Yep, a few of them. That's mean. I hate mean people.
Yeah, they just caught the guy I think last year, and they finally found the kid's bones. Yeah, they should.
Yeah, I couldn't
Well, they
figure it
found
out.
he had all this child pornography on his computer. And
Oh my
They must
God!
have-
See, those kind of people should be publicly bonked. Seriously, everyone should bring their grandfather's femur bones out, and everyone should get a good whack at their head.
Definitely.
That would be, I don't think we'd have so many of those people around if we could still do that. Publicly humiliate those perverts.
yeah, I mean, this 11-year-old kid. Come on.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it was your kid? Oh my God. That's not even funny.
No.
That's really creepy and shitty.
This
Well,
came
at
in.
least they
How to call us in? No, how to call
Oh,
us?
come on, caveman. You got to call us. We want you on.
All these cool gifts on 47 Talk. I'm not sure he is. I mean, how do you do that?
How did Les call us last
He
week?
didn't
That was
add
sweet.
me. He's got to go to Wolfman Mike 47 on Skype, and then you can call me. And
is
I'll,
that going to be this group though? Or he has to call the.
well, if he tries calling me, I can add him to the group.
Oh, okay, call us. All right,
But he's got to find Wolfman Mike 47 on Skype and then call in. Any other listeners that want to call in, you can call in.
So did you guys hear about that new planet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that cool?
No.
That is
The nearest.
Proxima?
Oh, the nearest one that's like Earth.
Yeah, it's the nearest star, and it's like Earth. And they said that the distance it is to the cooler star that it is, it's like right in the Goldilocks zone. And it's tidally locked, so it's always facing the sun. So if you were on that part of the planet that was closest to the sun would stay up in the sky, right in the center of the sky all the time.
So it doesn't
And then-
turn? It doesn't
That's
rotate?
correct. So
Sort of like our moon.
planet,
Now, wait a
Does it
minute.
have-
Wait a minute. Go back. I thought that was actually only our moon did that. I didn't
every
think.
moon in our solar system except for one, Hyperion, Saturn's moon, is tidally locked. It's facing the planet. And the only reason Hyperion's not is because it's got two different planets pulling on it at once, or there's a nearby moon and the planet. So it spins in crazy fashion.
Well, how come
But
then?
yeah.
How come then planets rotate, but just moons don't rotate around planets, but
Well, they
planets
did at one
rotate
point,
around?
probably.
I don't
it has
understand.
to be pretty close to the body that it's orbiting. Like Mercury,
Yeah,
I think Mercury was tidally locked because it's close to the sun, but it turns out it's in a mode where it rotates like twice for every 3 revolutions. If that makes any sense.
Okay.
So
I did-
it has
None
to
of
be
this
real
makes
close.
sense to me at all. Logically, does not make sense because if planets go around the sun and they rotate, why don't moons rotate around the planets?
It has to do with how close they are, the gravitational force, and the fact that the moon isn't perfectly round. Now, if it was perfectly round, it probably would, but they tend to not be. And then that part of the moon that face, I should really call Richard and ask about that.
Like the bulge. There's sort of a bulge.
It probably ends up going like a pendulum back and forth at some point in their history until it stops.
And then it stops. Yeah, because the moon itself is it's actually getting further out because the rotation of the Earth is slowing down. So I think it's like a couple inches a year or something like that, or maybe more, that the moon goes away from the Earth. So it's gradually just going further and further out.
So it used to be bigger in the sky.
Yeah, it used to be bigger.
I wonder what that would have looked like. Could you imagine if the Earth or the moon spun? That would look cool.
Yeah. But that's
But it-
in that geosynchronous orbit. So
Well,
Anyways, this new planet, if you were, let's say you were on Earth and we were tidally locked with our sun. If you were up in like Alaska, the sun would be almost down at the horizon. And can you imagine if you kept going around the planet, like that new planet? I mean, you'd get to some
that'd
point
be
where
cool.
I know the sun would be at the horizon all the time, and or it'd be
Yeah.
barely below the horizon. And I guess it'd be bigger because I think it's a little closer, and it's redder, so it'd be like a big, huge sun.
They say it's further away.
Oh, it's further
it only
from
gets
their
like-
planet.
Yeah, it only gets 1/3 of the energy that our Earth gets from the sun.
But I thought it was closer.
It is closer, but it's
Is
a
it
much
closer?
smaller sun. Yeah, the sun.
Smaller
Proxima
sun,
is
okay.
only
The sun isn't as bright,
one-
so it's closer
It's less.
in order to warm it up.
the mass of our sun. So
Well, let's just imagine it is. It'd be so cool to have a big red sun that just sits in the exact same spot.
how about
And
a
then could
black
you
hole
imagine-
sun? Would you like to have a black hole sun?
oh yeah, that was a cool view.
I'd like to have a black
Well,
hole
the,
sun.
Well,
Did
the Alaska, they have the longest summers, and that's where they actually have the world's largest like vegetables and fruits that they grow because they get 20 something hours of sun a day. So if you had a planet like that where you had sun 24 hours a day, I mean, just imagine the growth.
Oh,
Just
I
be
wonder if it would
amazing.
be like in the hottest part. Would that be the desert? And then like when it's like on the horizon, when you're farther around the planet, I wonder if that's what would grow the most, or where the life would be if there was
Right.
life. And then
Yeah,
what would the far side be like?
You'd have these concentric zones instead of like an equatorial. You'd have a concentric temperate zones. It'd be really
Yes.
What about the nocturnal creatures? Where would they? They wouldn't have anywhere to go.
Well, they could go on the backside of the planet, the far
Right.
side away from the other side.
They have to
Could you
crawl
imagine? I bet
around to
there's
the
just
backside.
so much
You know?
snow and ice.
Oh yeah, there's probably a greater version of life. I would think, because there's going to be animals in the sun, 20 day, and the other animals that live in darkness. Definitely.
I want some migrate between dark and then just to do it.
I believe that's what would
It
happen.
wouldn't have.
You
it
would
wouldn't
have
have
you have
seasons.
creatures that live right on the border, so that they can migrate over to the dark side to be nocturnal. I believe that's what would happen. So
You'd have no seasons, right?
You would have different seasons, I believe, because the you at some point in the orbit of the sun, you'd be a little closer to it than other
Oh
times.
yeah. Is it an elliptical orbit?
Almost like every planet is an ellipse.
It's like
they don't-
Right.
There's nothing that's in a complete, circle. Everything's an elliptical.
But yeah,
orbit.
this planet, no, it's just like there, and it's like saying come and explore, man. It's like wow, you know what I mean? It's just, and now we got these new thrusters like the Zekas thruster and the M drive,
Yeah.
all this year, and wow, and it's to me it's crazy. I think that we're gonna end up exploring space just like Star Trek.
Yeah.
Very
Takes 40
soon.
years to get there.
Very soon,
Yeah,
I
well,
think
think of
this is
it-
going to happen.
So the sun, that sun that's orbiting, is definitely not bright. So its brightest, like time of day, if you got a high noon, it's only as bright as our sun would be like an hour before sunset. So, and it wouldn't be scorching hot.
Is
But
it
it-
closer?
It's closer.
close.
so
Oh
it
shit, it's
appears-
really close. It only takes 11 days for it to orbit that sun, I believe.
it's
No,
a
130 days.
130.
So it'd be
130.
big and red. It'd be bigger than our sun. It would just sit there all day, right up in the sky, no matter
Right.
depending on what part of the planet you were on,
Right.
where it would be, in the sky. It's so
So
fascinating.
people would have their circadian rhythms completely just screwed up because humans and everybody's evolved around the cycle of the day. So with that, you wouldn't have a cycle.
I wonder if there was intelligent life on there, if they would ever explore the far side of the planet. Could you imagine? Just be
Right.
cold, dark.
Okay,
It'd be like us going to the South Pole.
we're going to get cut
Yeah,
off
maybe-
here, guys. Our show is ending in 1 minute, so I'm going to put a song on. We'll be back in a little while with the second half of the show, guys. Thanks for listening, everybody. But this is our time.
Wild rock and roll.